Welcome. This is your 15-minute beginner video sequence, Hatha Yoga, applicable to any age or fitness level. I hope that you enjoy it. We will begin on our yoga mats. Seated, you can face towards the front of your mat. I'm facing sideways for ease of viewing. And I'm sitting on a cushion. I invite you to take a cushion or something soft and elevated, place it underneath your bum and come to sit in a cross-legged, comfortable seat. It doesn't matter which leg is on the inside or how you cross your legs. Find a version of that that feels right for you. If your knees are very far off the floor and it does not feel comfortable, you have another option to get another 2 small cushions or even rolled up towels and place them underneath the back of your thighs to support your legs better. So that should give ease to the groins and help you to sit more comfortably. And then we'll just take a moment to tilt the pelvic floor forward, sitting right on the front edge of the pelvic floor and lengthening up through the spine as we take a moment to roll the shoulders back and down and start to lead from the solar plexus. Let the elbows be heavy and let the arms be soft as you bring your hands onto the knees, palm facing downwards, and elevate or lift through the top of the head as you lengthen through the back of the neck. Let's tuck the chin in ever so slightly and come to close our eyes. Let's immediately focus on the breath. We'll just take 5 full cycles of breath here together, allowing ourselves to become mentally present on our mats and join mind, breath, and body in our practice. So let's flow through those breaths, inhaling through the nostrils and taking a deep, full breath in as though you could breathe right into the belly. Imagine as though your breath fills the belly and then up through the whole of the torso up to the shoulders. Your exhalation is going to be a decompression from the shoulders. Imagine as though you breathed in that deeply, down through the torso, and finally compression out through the belly. So let's do that again, inhaling through the belly, lifting, filling up the whole of the lung, and long, deep exhalation. Try to breathe in and out through the nose. Inhale and exhale. Let's do a third breath here together. Inhale and exhale. And a fourth breath, inhale and exhale, releasing any tension with that exhalation, releasing any stress from the body. Let's take a fifth and full inhalation and exhale, releasing breath, releasing any tension, allowing your mind to settle in your body and on your mat, letting all distractions fade around you. And gently start to flutter the eyes open. And let's take the left hand and place it on the right knee as you take your right hand back and behind you, placing the fingers into the floor, pressing your fingers into the floor and lifting up through the chest as you come into a seated twist. Look over your right shoulder, so that's away from your leading left hand. Might be quite nice to close your eyes. Let's take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then open your eyes and look over your left shoulder. So counter the gaze, 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Keep pressing both hips evenly into the mat. Last breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, let's go to the other side. Right hand over left knee and left hand back and behind you. Come into the twist and make sure that you lengthen through the spine and don't compress the body down. Let's look over that left shoulder, taking a few deep, lovely breaths here. Allowing for the chest to open. Let the shoulders move apart from each other and use both of your hands as leverage to get deeper into the posture. Then let's counter the gaze, looking over the right shoulder. Another full breath here, inhale and exhale. Inhale, returning to the center, and let's exhale and reach forwards in front of you. Lean forwards as far as you can, and maybe if you're sitting very high on a cushion, now's the time to move that cushion out of the way, and just for a few breaths, press the bum back and behind you as you reach through the top of the head and lengthen over the spine. Just look down at the floor, coming onto your elbows. Maybe you want to reach really far forwards. I'm going to swivel now to face the front of the mat so you can see me from the side. Really want to stretch as far forward as possible here. Lengthen over the back of the neck. Let's take one more breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to lift the torso up, and then exhale, bring your hands back behind your hips. Pressing your fingertips into the floor. You can press bring your heel of the hand to face in towards the hips, and press your elbows back as you elevate through the solar plexus, through the chest, and maybe look up towards the ceiling, just easing through the spine. So this is a gentle back bend, accessible to anyone. And from here, you can maybe recross your legs in the opposite direction. So using your less comfortable leg on the inside now, just for the last 3 breaths here. Deep full breathing, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to sit up. Place your hands forward in front of you. Come up onto your knees, and let's come into the tabletop. So stacking up your joints, hands under shoulders, your knees stacking up the joints. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. Let's flow through this 5 times. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. And last time, inhale to arch and exhale to round. Inhale, bring your spine back to neutral, and then exhale, move your bum back towards your heels as you inhale to lift the hips up towards the ceiling and come into your first down dog. So you can keep your knees bent here, and you want to preface having a straight spine over straightening your legs out. So keep the knees bent and tilt your hips up towards the ceiling as you spread your fingers. So look forward towards your hands, really spread your fingers. Press your fingers and your thumbs in towards the floor. Press the floor away and make sure you've straightened your arms and softened your neck and softened your head. And you're really tilting through the hips up towards the ceiling. Draw your belly button in towards your spine and have a long, straight spine. So the more you need to bend in towards your knees is absolutely fine. Always do that instead of bending. Sometimes if you are stiff through the hamstrings, if you try and straighten your legs, you'll start to bend into the spine. So try and feel that difference there. Let's do that. Straighten and round into the spine, look in towards the belly button. And then exhale, bend your knees and straighten the spine. Let's do that a second time. Inhale, round in towards, look into towards the belly button and try and straighten your knees. And then exhale, bend your knees and straighten the spine. Let's look forwards towards our hands now and walk our feet forwards towards the front of the mat as we hold onto the elbows and sway from side to side in what's known as the ragdoll. Keep the knees bent here. And you really want to keep a nice swaying movement, nice soft swaying movement. And then bring yourself to center. Come and steady the body here. And you can interlock your fingers and place them behind the swell of the back of the skull, back of the skull. And on your next inhalation, keeping the knees bent, start to press your skull, your head, into your hands to find resistance there. And then use the inhalation to start to roll up vertebra by vertebra. Should give a lovely sense of release at the back of the neck and shoulders coming up. Exhale, let's round down. Let's do that a second time. Inhale to round up. Really feel resistance between hands and head. Opening up, press the elbows out, and then exhale to round down. And then from here, release your hands and bring them on the floor, spreading the fingers. And let's step back in what's known as the plank pose. So you really want to kick into the back of the heels, engage through the patella, through the kneecaps, and then lift your hips up so they're not sagging on the floor. So you don't want that, and you don't want that either. What you want is shoulders over hands, patella, your knees engaged, your heels engaged, draw belly into spine, and a straight torso. Let's take the last breath here. Inhale and exhale. Bring your knees to the floor, and then from there, slide back into a child pose. Lovely. Bringing your heels, your bum back towards your heels, and then dome up through the heel of the hands and reach the fingertips forward as you lengthen the back of the neck. And exhale. Inhale to come back up into your tabletop. Exhale to find a neutral spine, drawing belly button in towards spine. And then inhale to lift your right foot forward and place it between your hands. Use 2 or 3 movements if you need to bring the right foot between your hands, and then soften into towards your hips, opening the chest out, rolling the shoulders back, coming into what's known as Anjaneyasana. If you need to, keep your hands on the floor on either side of that front leg, or if you can, lift up and place your hands on that front knee, and now really draw the elbows in towards the body and roll the shoulders back. Try and engage into your left glute. Press the top of the left foot into the floor. Let's take a third and last breath here. Inhale and exhale. Release into those hands, and then inhale as you straighten into that right leg and come into what's known as Ardha Hanumasana. So here you might need to place your hands on blocks or something, maybe Tupperwares from the kitchen, or even books if you're at home, to place your hands on something if they don't comfortably meet the floor. And then lift your toes up towards your face as you engage into that right foot. Inhale to lengthen through the spine and try and straighten your spine and try and straighten your knee. The higher you bring your hands, the more ability you should have to straighten through the knee. And then exhale to fold in. Inhale to lift to lengthen, and exhale to fold down. Let's do the third and last one here. Inhale to lift and lengthen, and exhale to fold down. Inhale to look forwards and bend once again into that right leg. Bring your hands or hands on blocks forwards, and then lift up your back left leg and step back into plank. Let's take one more breath here. Remember to engage through your hips so they don't sag, and then exhale. On the inhalation, now lift your bum up towards the ceiling, coming into another down dog. Spread your feet to be hip-width apart, bend into your knees, and tilt through the hips as you lengthen through the spine and soften the neck. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring your knees back to the floor. Let's do the left side. Same thing again. Looking forward towards your hands. Inhale, lift up your left leg, bring it towards the front, and then soften the back of the right foot onto the mat as you bring your hips forwards. Take a moment here to just check your balance, and if you need to, keep your hands on the floor. If you're comfortable with it, now bring your hands up onto your left knee, rolling the shoulders back and down, elbows in, and lifting through the torso to achieve a gentle and safe back bend here. As you can even press the knee away, engage the right glute, and press the top of the right foot into the floor. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And exhale, inhale, and exhale. Lower both your hands onto the mat, and then lengthen into your left leg, maybe coming onto blocks underneath your hands if you need to, coming into the Ardha Hanumasana on this side. Check that your right knee is under the right hip as much as you can. So just look back, make sure you have a right angle there. Draw belly into spine to lengthen through the spine and try to straighten that left leg. Lift and lengthen through the spine and then exhale to fold in. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold in. Third one here. Inhale to lift and lengthen and exhale to fold in. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then draw the weight back towards the front. Hands spread on either side of that left foot and lift up the right leg and step back to plank. One breath here, last plank, inhale. And then exhale, bring your knees to the mat and make your knees nice and wide as you bring your feet together. Slide your bum back towards your feet and come into an extended child pose. If the floor feels really far away from you, you can place a cushion under your head. We'll take 5 breaths here. Make sure you're looking down towards the floor. And exhale. Inhale. Try to release and exhale any strain or stress you feel down into the mat. This is a safe and private space, just you facing your mat. So try to use it to release any tension or negativity with the exhalation. Coming into our last 2 cycles of breath here. Inhale, breathing in light, lengthening through the spine, bringing in new oxygen, new life, new possibility, and exhale to release. And last time, inhale to lift and lengthen, filling yourself with positivity and light and potential, and exhaling that dark negative energy from the body. Any stress, release it down into the wall, in towards the floor. Then inhale to sit up. And we'll come into our last pose, bringing your feet out towards the side, sitting on your bum, bringing your feet in front of you. Come to bring your bum in the middle of the mat so you have space behind you, knees bent on either side of each other and arms on the side of the knees, and then roll back and down onto the mat. Bring your hands on either side of the body and have your feet flat on the floor. Feet should be hip-width apart. We're going to come into the bridge pose. So I want you to feel as though you really engage through the glutes, through the bum cheeks, and draw the pelvic floor up as you roll the tailbone up and under. Perfect. Press your hands into the floor, palms facing downwards on either side of the hips, and then inhale to continue to lift the spine off the mat, coming into a nice straight line with the spine, with the torso, with the legs. And then exhale to slowly unfurl vertebra by vertebra. Taking your time, placing the bottom of the spine on the mat, pressing your bum into the floor, and then inhale to draw that pelvic floor up and away from the mat as you press the lumbar spine into the floor, so the middle of the lower back into the floor, and keep that inhalation going as you lift the rest of the spine off the floor, straight line. Exhale, let's roll down. Imagine as though you could count each vertebra as you lower the whole of the spine onto the mat. And let's take the last breath here, our third and final one. Inhale to lift and lengthen, nice straight line. And then exhale, lower the body down, vertebra by vertebra. Lengthen and flatten the spine. Inhale to lift your knees up, hugging your knees in towards your heart, and just rock from side to side. Well done. We've come towards the end of our beginner sequence as you release your legs now, coming into what's known as the corpse pose or Shavasana. So feet are flopping out, heels facing inwards, legs are straight, arms are straight, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Just lengthen the back of the neck, tucking the chin in, and close your eyes. I invite you to connect with your breath here, feeling the rhythm of your breath, and feel the contingency, the touch between your body and the floor and the earth. The earth is forgiving, the earth is porous. And so with each exhalation, imagine as though your troubles and your strains are draining from the body. With the eyes closed in our moment of reflection and relaxation, we are able to let go and release. Use Each inhalation to bring in new life and opportunity, and use the exhalation to release. Knowing that you are safe here, knowing that you are loved and cared for, and knowing that you have given your body and your vitality the greatest gift you can, and that is movement and breath and mindful awareness. And so thank your body for this practice. Thank your body for this time, and thank yourself for turning up on your mat today. When you're ready, taking a breath in and lifting through your arms as you stretch your hands above your head. Reach into the toes, reach into the fingertips, deep breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands over one of your knees and rock up to a seated position. Returning to how we began our session together. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to hear feedback from you and to see you on the mat once again. May you go in peace. Namaste.